The PIF, Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, has more than $900 billion in assets and has been plowing capital into technology. To diversify the nation's revenue away from oil. The fund is in talks with venture firm Andreessen Horowitz to create a $40 billion fund to invest in AI, two sources with knowledge of the matter told CNBC. The discussions were first reported by the New York Times. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's ambitious Vision 2030 initiative has looked to modernize the economy and strengthen ties in global finance. The PIF has investments in companies including Uber.
Hey, Mike, so you may have heard of that AI startup. It is the hottest tech investment out there right now. I spoke to three sources who tell me a stake in Anthropic is being shopped around to sovereign wealth funds, but Saudi Arabia notably will not be one of those new investors. Anthropic has ruled out taking any money from the Saudi Public Investment Fund, the PIF, as it's also known. That is despite the Saudis' interest in technology investing and more than $900 billion in assets it has to spend. Sources tell me that Anthropic has privately cited national security risks. This stake in Anthropic is for sale because it belongs to FTX, the failed crypto exchange. It's being offloaded as part of that bankruptcy. FTX invested 3 years ago for around $500 million. That stake is now worth more than $1 billion after this recent boom in AI. The sale, I'm told, is still ongoing. The proceeds will be used eventually to pay back FTX customers. Perla Weinberg is the banker in this process and declined to comment in this story. Anthropic has raised more than $7 billion in the past few years from tech giants, including Amazon and Alphabet, Salesforce as well, amid this AI frenzy. Its large language model competes with OpenAI's ChatGPT. These are Class B shares that are being sold at the same valuation, I'm told, as the company's last financing round, which a source tells me was $18.4 billion. And while the founders of Anthropic preemptively told bankers that they would not accept Saudi money, they do not plan to challenge potential funding from other sovereign wealth funds out there, including the United Arab Emirates, Mubadala, that is the UAE-based fund that is now also actively looking at investing. It's according to one of the people that I spoke to. The potential buyers of FTX's stake are also made up of this syndicate of new investors, a source tells me. I'm also told that Amazon and Alphabet are not increasing their holdings through this particular stake. Anthropic, the PIF, and Google and Amazon all declined to comment. Mike, back over to you.
All right, $18.4 billion current, or at least most recent valuation, Kate. I mean, in the grand scheme, with all the kind of big numbers being thrown around, AI capacity, it seems like a modest number.
I was going to say, you can see that as a discount, depending on how you look at it. It is. And it's also interesting seeing kind of the makeup of the potential investors who've typically had sort of these big tech investors on the cap table. It would be fascinating if you started to see more sovereign wealth and also these individual investors. There's money being raised through special purpose vehicles as well. So you have smaller investors trying to get in. So you may get a little bit more diversity on the cap table with this FTX stake being sold, Mike.
Interesting. Kate, appreciate it.
While also funding the LIV Golf League and spending heavily in professional soccer and tennis. Anthropic's national security concerns regarding Saudi Arabia could be over. Dual-use technology software or tech that can be used for both civilian and military applications. That's an area of notable focus for the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, which can block foreign investments from particular sources in certain areas. Saudi Arabia has also been warming to China. The kingdom's human rights record remains a major problem for some Western partners. The most notable case in recent years was the alleged killing of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018, an event that triggered international backlash in the business community. In November, Bankman-Fried was convicted of 7 criminal counts tied to the collapse of FTX. His sentencing is scheduled for next week, and prosecutors are recommending a sentence of 40 to 50 years.